Hi, this is here, and welcome to another video. Today we are reading Chapter 16 of Hermitcraft Genesis, Book 3 of Hermitcraft Genesis, which is the perspective of Kate. If you haven't read the other parts, be sure to do so, because there will be spoilers. There is a playlist in the description where you can check out all the videos. If you do like these sorts of videos and you want to listen to more like these, yeah, they're all there. And, well, yeah, obviously there are captions available, so if you are interested in watching words on the screen while I'm building, well, go for it. Chapter 16. She stared at the blank cobblestone wall of her cell across from her, fidgeting with the long-sleeved black uniform she now wore. 30 minutes ago, she'd been woken up by a large, burly man wearing similar attire, demanding her to put on the uniform and get ready for her first meeting. She was meeting Dr. Rhinestone today. That, she was pretty sure. She clenched her hand on the silky fabric. The uniform was surprisingly comfortable. More comfortable than she expected. I'd much prefer a cloak, Gerald grumbled, mixing with a bit more perilous. You just don't want people to see your face, Kate snapped, after what Stampy did to you. And Jem, the man pointed out bitterly. I underestimated her. Not again. You can't hurt any of them. Kate shook her head. Nothing is stopping me from trying, Gerald replied. I'm at least one step closer. Caitlin? The iron door to her cell clicked as it opened. Our guard stepped into the room, his black uniform identical to hers, down to the blue stripe along their right arms. The man was much taller than her, and thinner, as if he hadn't eaten a good meal in weeks. They're ready for you. They? I thought it was just Rhinestone. Kate rose an eyebrow. She didn't move her feet. Dr. Rhinestone wouldn't make her do anything. Fine, the man narrowed his eyes. Dr. Rhinestone wants to see you. She has some friends she wants you to meet. She can't make me go, Kate spat, crossing her arms. I'm afraid you don't have a choice. He crossed the room within seconds, grabbing her by the arm. Hey, that hurts! Kate tried to pull away from his grasp, but he only tightened his hold, pulling her up from the hard excuse of a bed. It'll hurt more where you're going, the man said blandly, dragging the girl into the hallway. Kate looked around at the open iron doors around her. Other cells, empty cells. How many people had been down here? Were they the missing people from the other towns? She swallowed, pushing the thought aside. Maybe the people hadn't been captured by her. Maybe they were just missing, having escaped to different worlds in their attempt to flee, just like she and her mother had done. Grief pierced her heart at the mention of her mother. Did Rhinestone's men make her suffer, or had her death been quick and painless? She'd only just been reunited with her after months with the hermits. This wasn't fair. Maybe she shouldn't have gone with Dad to Blossom Meadows. Then this would have never happened. Kate followed the guard as he led her down the hall to a set of iron doors at the end. Her legs felt like lead as she stumbled after the man. Yes. What'd she find through those doors? Would there be prisoners? How long had she been taken? Were her friends safe? Dr. Rhinestone clearly knew where they were. Of course they weren't safe. She could talk to them. Kate closed her eyes, trying to imagine her friends' faces. What they might say to her. Did they even know she was missing? Was Carl searching for her? Or the hermits? Would anyone even find her? It makes no difference, Gerald whispered. She still has what she wants. Do you even know what that is? Kate snapped at the man. She heard the deep chuckle in her mind. She shook her head. Gerald was dead. She wasn't sure how she could kill him. Whether or not a part of his spirit stuck to her when she was injected, or the distant YouTuber part inside him is attached to her. Had her ancestor been bad, just like him? Has his ancestor been bad, just like him? Wrong pronoun. Neither of us know what the answer that is. The answer to that, good child. There's no point asking such a pointless question. Kate sighed, approaching the double doors as they opened. Woo! Fancy! 3-letter word door. As they opened simultaneously, her eyes widened as she saw a large, bright white room on the other side. The back of the room stored a large, cylindrical machine. Redstone gears whirring as blue mist covered the inside of the glass. Lab equipment was strewn across countertops, and small gadgets were stored in shulker boxes around the room. There were 3 people in the room. One of them stood at the control panel by the machine, the other 2 standing on a platform in the middle of the room, observing what was happening in the machine. Kate frowned. How could they even see anything in there? The soundproof glasses and very nice touch. One of the figures on the platform spoke. He was tall, towering over the woman beside him. He wore a black leather jacket with dark black jeans. The jacket reflected dully the lamplight above them. Kate looked up. No, those didn't look like any lamps she'd ever seen. They were large, bright, yellow-white blocks that hung above them. She'd never seen any like them before. Fraglights. Well, I'd personally not want to hear their screams after the last experience we've had. I'm sure you'll... Dr. Redstone replied. Kate's blood froze. Was she referring to Skiss? Or her? Had she done more experiments since she'd last seen the woman? It had only been 2 weeks. What can happen in 2 weeks there, my lady? Certainly, Wanda. The man nodded. Richard, report on the subject, please. Vitals are low. The man beside the control panel looked up. His expression was blank. This one won't survive the next few minutes. Shame. I was hoping he'd pull through. Dr. Redstone sighed. It can't be helped. Not all humans are strong enough to withstand the substance. Kate frowned as the soldier beside her cleared his throat. Doctor, I've brought the girl. Excellent. Dr. Redstone turned to face them. The man beside her didn't move, his eyes peering at the machine before him. A loud beep blared from the machine, followed by a hiss as Redstone ushered Kate forward. Come up here, child. I was hoping we'd have a nice chat. Kate reluctantly walked up the steps to the platform. Everything within her screaming for her to turn around and run for it. To get away from the woman. From this machine that she was using. The last time we had a nice chat, you stabbed me with your needle. I'm sorry about that, the woman smiled. Kate shuddered. She's pretty sure the doctor wasn't apologetic in the slightest. But blood goes bad if it isn't chilled. I had to give it to someone, a human preferably. But you weren't afraid to use it on a YouTuber if you had to, Kate pointed out. It certainly would have been interesting, Redstone chuckled. But I knew one of your protectors would come to save the day. Just so happened you made it there first. A chill ran down the girl's spine. So you would have done it to Blake or Liam if you got to them instead? Certainly, Redstone shook her head. Although I'm not sure how well they would have survived such a high dose. She raised an eyebrow. But you did. I only have the healing factor, that's it. Kate narrowed her eyes. I'm nothing special to you. You are special. Redstone gestured to the machine. Kate looked over and wished she hadn't. In the middle of the cylindrical glass was a chair. A figure sat in a chair. All color drained from the figure's face, hollowed almost like a skeleton. His chest rose and fell, rasping for air. He was about 17, if she had to guess. His dark hair was thin and falling from his head in rows. It only lasted a few seconds, before the young man burst into dust. Gold, blue, and gray. It was scattered all over the dusty floor. Yeah, a bit gruesome. How many dead people were in that container? Kate's eyes widened as the particles floated to the bottom. Richard opened the glass and stepped inside, nonchalantly dusting off the wooden chair, as if the man had never been there. Kate noticed metal cuffs hanging limply beside the armrest of the chair. She swallowed. He'd been strapped inside, forced to endure whatever horrors Dr. Rhinestone had in store for him. What did he do? Kate couldn't finish the question, grabbing onto the railing of the platform so she wouldn't fall. He was a subject that had a smaller dose of Gerald's blood, Dr. Rhinestone replied. We were able to replicate the hybrid portion of the sample we had. You replicated Gerald's blood? Kate turned to the woman. How is that possible? The blood is still alive, even if it's not inside a body, Dr. Rhinestone said calmly. Give it enough nutrients, and they will duplicate and grow. The healing factor just makes the process much faster in YouTubers than it does in humans, which is why they are more likely to survive, even if they lose a lot of blood compared to us. It is unfortunate that I know that now, the man next to Kate said with a frown. Your friends are tougher than I anticipated. We won't fail this time, Andrew, Dr. Rhinestone said with a curt nod. She turned back to Kate. Our subject here underwent an additional experiment to see if we could strengthen what he already had. However, his body was not able to handle it, as you saw there. Kate nodded. What does it take, then, to survive that? The Rhinestone smiled. That's what I want to know. The machine is ready for its next subject, Richard called from the control panel. Thank you, Richard, Rhinestone replied before chuckling. Don't mind Dr. Jargon. He enjoys a good test on the scientific method. Kate tensed. Why did you bring me here? You have the largest amount of Gerald's blood in your veins. Rhinestone put a hand on the girl's shoulder. And you survived, where other people didn't. I want to know why. It was just lucky, I guess. Perhaps. But the best way to know for sure is to see whether or not you can take another dose and see what happens. Kate shook her head. I'm not going to do that. Imagine, Caitlin. Rhinestone knelt next to the girl's level, putting her hands on both of the girl's shoulders. A world where everyone has the ability to heal, super strength to achieve whatever they could never before. Where YouTubers no longer have an advantage over humans. Where we're equals. What's wrong with what we have now? What's wrong with division, misunderstandings? Imagine what could be if the villagers didn't have to fear each day that their home might be raided by YouTubers. To fear that the YouTubers would take their loved ones and force them to live in a tiny meter-by-meter cubicle for the rest of their lives. Not all of them do that, Kate insisted. Orchardwood was attacked by Mr. Eisman, not by YouTubers. Campbell poisoned my mother, not YouTubers. You killed my parents, not YouTubers. There's no proof in what you're claiming. You don't know what will get better. For all you know, it'll only make things worse. And that's why it makes this all the more fun, Andrew said calmly. YouTubers have too much power, and if there was any way that we could take them down, we need to be able to fight like them. But aren't you human? Kate demanded, glaring at the man. Or did you take this stupid experiment and become superhuman? There is no such thing as superhuman, the man replied. Once we can ensure that it's safe for everyone to use, this will become. the new human. It all starts with me, Kate said bitterly. You're smart, Kate, Dr. Rhinestone said simply. We've come to a point where we don't want to hide anymore. Not from the real dangers of this universe. The YouTubers are taking over, taking more land that can be perfectly shared. All because they're greedy. They believe they are better than us. That's not true. My brother and I had our lives destroyed by YouTubers. Richard narrowed his eyes at the girl. They were dark, just like Andrew's. Almost as dark as the weight. Our town was destroyed by a small band of them. They burned our houses, stole our storage, took families, friends who we never saw again. Anger flashed in his eyes. Countless others felt the same way when they came to join our ranks. When they came to fight for the world they believed in. Land of peace, not fear. Can't we work together? No. There is no way humans and YouTubers can work together. Richard sneered. All they've ever done for us was take and destroy. So I took it back. I took what was taken from me. We will be rid of those YouTubers once and for all. Andrew nodded, his expression blank. Kate swallowed, looking over at the machine as Dr. Rhinestone grabbed her arm, walking her down the steps of the platform to the machine. What else could she do? Alas, this is it for the video. Yeah, for this book. I didn't know how long it would take, and we're itching on to 17 minutes. But yeah, this is it. Chapter 16, and next perspective, we got the impulse doubled up. Yep, book 4 is impulse. So, there's that to look forward to. Well, of course, yeah, this one was a little bit darker, a little bit more sinister, a little bit past Halloween. Boy, that's fine. A little past Halloween, but I don't think anyone else is going to care that much. Yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know any theories you might have, any thoughts that might be there. Some of those names might be familiar for those who've been there since the very beginning, but yeah. Just want to know that Andrew shares a name with Skiz, and that's just funny to me because I had that name in the ranks for a long while, years before I met the guy. You know, well, not met the guy, just learned that he exists, you know. But yeah, it is what it is. Stay tuned for next week, and we'll get right into the next one. And see where it goes from there. But yeah, adios.